Hello everyone. Today we are going to do a lab where we provide cross-account access to one of our S3 buckets to another account, and we are going to switch to the account that we provided the access and try to access the bucket that we let them use. So once again, we will need two accounts for this lab. Account A will provide access to account B on one of account A's bucket, right? So in a real life, it could be something like I am letting my friend, so my friend is account B, I am account A, I'm letting account B or my friend access one of my buckets without using IAM policies and using bucket policies. So the first thing that we need to do is on account A, that's my bucket, create a new bucket and add some items into the bucket. Now I've already started to do that, and I have in my account I have 3 buckets. I've created a bucket named My Test February 17th, and I have 2 items on that bucket. Now, what I want to do is I want to go to the permissions tab, and you can see right here is the bucket policy. Click on this, and when you hover over it, it says bucket policy use JSON-based access policy language to manage advanced permission to your AWS S3 resources. So in here I can provide access policies by using JSON language. And let me go back to my document where I have a policy ready. Now I will link this this document on the description below, so you don't have to worry about typing it in. And I'm going to copy this, go to my bucket and paste this. Okay, now once I have this pasted, let's quickly run through what the policy says. Now, the first line is the version of this policy, something that's required because it's just saying that I'm using this version of this templating language. So I know in CloudFormation this is optional, but I think you should include this in a bucket policy, so or an IAM policy. So something to include always. So we're done with this. Now the statement is saying I want to include this kind of statement, right? So you'll get an idea of statement when we add one more statement. So for now, let's just move on to the SID. SID can be anything. It's just like a description of the statement that I'm about to include. I can say example permissions 1 or 1.0, whatever, just for your reference. Now effect is important because here you can say either allow or deny, and you can actually have very fine-grained access control by using these languages. Now in this example we have effect of allow. Now this section, the principal, is very important, and principal is basically whoever is doing the accessing, right? So in this case it's going to be another account, account B, and you need to include, instead of this number right here, you need to include the account B's account ID. And you can find the account ID by going into IAM section of your account, and on the sign in link right here, if you haven't created an alias yet, this number 378 all the way to here is the account ID. Now there's more ways to find your account ID. I'm not gonna do this here because my information will be out, but if you go to support and click on Support Center. Right on the top you should see your account ID. Also, if you click on My Account, you should see your account ID somewhere right on the top. So 3 ways that I've told you to find your account ID. One other way to find your account ID is to click on Users, and if you click on the user ARN, you should see your account ID. Okay, so going back to the console, I'm gonna paste this. I think I already did. Right, so never mind. So this is the principle. Right, now actions, let's move on to the actions. And by the way, on the principle, I have to say root, or I can also say something like user / this particular user. For this video, we are just going to say the root user only. Now actions is S3 star, means that I can perform any actions on S3 API. So if I wanted to, let's say, only give this person a read access, then instead of star, I would put get bucket, or whatever the corresponding API call is. When I say star, I say let him do everything on the S3 bucket that's possible. So resource section here is where I say which resource I'm allowing the principal to access. And as you can see, I have 2 different resources. It's the same thing, except on the second one there's a slash and an asterisk after that, which means that not only I can list the name of that bucket, I can also go inside the bucket when I say slash and star, and I can manipulate the stuff inside of that bucket. So if when we try it, you can try removing this and see what happens. So for now, we should be good with all that, and I hope you understood basically what the policy does. Now what I want to do is, and you should do this too, make sure that you replace the name of the bucket right here with your bucket, and make sure you replace the this number with the account B number in your case. So not the number of this account, but the number of another account, right? Because we want another account to access our bucket. So I'm going to click on save. So once again, this number should not be from this current account, right? This number should be from another account. Okay, now what I want to do is, first of all, I want to show you the buckets that I have in my other account. A lot of buckets, right? And what I've done is I've set up my command line interface with the account with a lot of buckets, and in this case that's account B for us. So when I say stuff like AWS S3 LS, I can see a list of all my buckets. Right now, since I gave the policy, bucket policy on to I let this account to access my bucket. What if I try to access this bucket from my command line interface? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try it. AWS S3 list, right? The contents of this bucket, and I am able to list them, right? Not only list them, I'll try to S3 copy. CP means copy, and once again I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna go inside the bucket slash and universe.jpg, as you can see right here. I'm gonna try to copy this into my current directory by saying dot, enter, and I was able to download. And by the way, this is my Mac machine, and this will also be the commands will be same for Linux as well. In Windows, you might have to instead of giving a dot, you might have to give an absolute path or relative path to your folder. But basically, instead of the path, I could also say downloads, and download it to my downloads folder. So just so that I can prove it to you that this is because of the bucket policy and not just happening by itself, what I want to do is I want to copy this, right, and I'm going to delete it, right? So what happens when I delete the policy? I'm going to try AWS. Actually, let's go back and let's try to list the bucket that I listed earlier. Now I see an error occurred, access denied when calling the list objects operation, access denied. And this is because we don't have the policy now. When I add the policy one more time, right, when I call that again, I'm able to do it. Now, going back to the point when I said that you don't, what happens if you don't include this second line. So I'm going to cut that, make sure you remove the comma as well. And what happens when I just include this as a resource? I'm going to save, right? I'm going to come back to my command line interface, and I'm going to try to do that command one more time, listing the items in the bucket, right? Enter. I should be able to list the items in the bucket. Now, the difference is when I try to copy this file to my folder. When I try that, I say an error occurred because I don't have access to the stuff that is inside of this bucket. So what this /* does is that I can also go inside the items into that bucket and copy them, add stuff, that kind of stuff. So if I just include this, I can only list the bucket. So I hope that gives you a good idea on what's happening here. Now what we want to do now is to add one more statement and deny certain things, right? So far we only have allow. So for that, what I have is in the statement, right? So in the statement section, as we saw, we have one statement now. Now what I can do is say comma, and I can add another statement, right? And to do that, I have it set up over here. I just want to copy the second statement right here. Okay, now as you can see, the statement is a collection. When you see this bracket, it's a collection of different statements. So you can add more statements, but basically my second statement is deny permission. My first one was example permissions. The second one, I want to be more explicitly specific and say deny permission. Now this doesn't matter, I can, instead of saying deny permission, I can say permission to, but this, if I say deny permission, it's easier to see what's happening. So now effect in this case is deny instead of allow. So before I was allowing stuff, now I'm denying stuff. And principal, once again, is the same account. Now in this case, what I'm doing is I'm saying don't allow to get object, which means that don't allow the person to download stuff, allow him to upload stuff, allow him to list the stuff, but don't allow him to download stuff. So when I say save, oops, so the problem is invalid resource, and you might get this when you do this on your own. And if you haven't figured out, the problem is the bucket name is just not right with my bucket. So when I make sure that I put my bucket in here and save, I go back to my command line and I try to copy the same items again, and I should get a forbidden error because I'm not able to get that item anymore. Now at the same time, since I know that I have a file named universe.jpg, what I can do is first of all, I'm going to rename that to, so I'm gonna, this is my local, this is the command for my local machine. So move means rename to new universe.jpg. So basically I'm renaming the file, and what I want to do is, instead of copying stuff from the bucket to my folder, what I want to do now is to say copy this file called new universe.jpg to this folder called my test February the 17th on S3, to this bucket, right? So as you can see, what I'm trying to do now is, instead of download, I'm trying to upload stuff. Enter. And I am able to upload, and just to prove it to you that it was uploaded, I want to go back to overview, and as you can see, there is a new file called new universe.jpg. Now what if I don't want the person to upload as well? Or what if I want to do the reverse now, right? Instead of get object, I want to stop him from putting stuff, so uploading stuff. I allow him to download, I deny him to upload. So when I say save, so once again all I did was I say put instead of get, and feel free to pause the video because I know I'm going a little bit faster. So so I've done a few tweaks here and there. So I want to go back, clear, and I'm gonna try uploading stuff from my local machine to the folder one more time, and as expected I should get an access denied. But if you remember from a minute ago, I wasn't able to download stuff. Now I'm going to try to download stuff one more time, right? So right here, copy this file called universe.jpg to my local folder, enter, and I am able to download now. So this is how you use bucket policy to grant cross-account access and have a fine-grained access control. I hope you understood what we did, and I'm going to include this this document on the description below. I'm going to probably link this as a blog post, so please click on the link and get to this this file videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.